Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever we are in the world today. I hope you're absolutely fantastic. So, just getting into the markets, I think we may finally have our answer. It's been an absolutely painful wait to get to this answer, but I think it's finally here. Now, obviously, we always wait for confirmations and all of that jazz, but for the time being, as I made mention to in the previous videos, we had three options. Either it was going to travel down here, but that would have been too abrupt or too soon, should I say, for the market to go crashing down because we got the rest of this market cycle to take care of. Instead, we saw a crawl across. I was wondering if I was going to test this line, and it did not. And then it crawled across a little further, and at the apex over here of arc 1 and the 1 over 2, it's now dropping from there. And that you'll see on the 30 minutes, that's why you see this candle coming out of that drop. So let's just mark it real quick. And then just get an idea of how far we would like to go to by working with the previous points. All right, that looks good. And then putting that down. Okay, great. So it looks like quite a bit of potential drop over here. Again, it's the same pattern over here. I think it's coming down too quickly. So it should stop around this arc and then probably reposition itself either down there or down there would be more responsible. I don't think it's going to continue just dropping down. As I say that, it kind of starts to suck itself back up. So it's going to etch across and then eventually choose one of these support lines, just as it has on the dominant time frame over here. All right. So with that said, I want to take this away now and assume until proven otherwise that this is the support line. It's got to go. What that means to us is that it's got to break at least, 60,200 for it to remain in trend. Okay, so unless we got a trend reversal that's going to happen, we're in a downtrend. How do we know that we're in a downtrend? Well, over here, starting at the start of the cycle, we've got a lower high as well as a lower low. So lower highs and lower lows tell us that we're in downtrend. And then the same thing over here. We've got a lower high. All right, so that high is lower than that high. And we've got a lower low, so that low is lower than that low. So that's the downtrend. All right, so we're going to, if it remains in downtrend, it's got to at least break that low, okay, which is at 60,200, and let's call it 60,200. So if we continue to remain in downtrend, then this is pretty much the area in which I expect the trend to turn around at. But if it doesn't, then it should stop before here and at that lower and what's what I'm looking for, reject the lower low and then go back into uptrend. So those are so that's what I'm looking for next. So what I've been looking for until now is which route or route is it going to take. It wasn't this one, it wasn't that one. I thought it might have been this one, but it did not. Now the highest probability is that it's going to regress along this one. And whilst we figure that out somewhere into the middle of May, we're going to see whether or not if it wants to stop a little bit early and change trend directional to the upside, or alternatively break beyond that, create that lower low, and then see a further downtrend. So I'm laughing because I'm looking at the price of that further potential downtrend, and that's going to be in like the 30s and 40,000s. And I'm laughing only because I know that the hyped people on Twitter and X are going to create the craziest memes and posts about that, saying Bitcoin's over and everything's going to zero and all that kind of rubbish. But it's just literally trend. Okay. So again, I forecasted this happening back here in October last year, and then again in January, and now again in whichever month we are now, in April and May. I mean in March. And you can obviously, don't take my word for it. Feel free to check it out here. And I've called turn for turn, month after month, and got it right. So when I give out forecasts, it's because I know exactly what I'm saying is as true as it can be with the information we have provided. So before I jump off, I just wanted to say one last time that the markets are something you listen to and you learn from and you move with. You can't go to the ocean as a surfer and scream at the waves and say, I want big waves now. The ocean will provide what the ocean wants to provide there and then. It's the same thing with the market. You read the market, you know when to ride the market, and you know when to not ride the market. So until now, it's been a long, painful move day after day of tight candles, no trend, and it's trying to get itself into place. So, with that said, we're finally getting some form of trend confirmation. For the time being, it looks like the downtrend wants to move down here. Of course, I want to assume so until proven otherwise. And that continues to mean buy high and sell low. All right, so as I made mention to surmise this video, should this be the regression line or the support line that is going to go down, it's going to get to about 60,200, high 50,000, and then from there make a decision point if it's going to be a downtrend. So if it breaks lower lows, it's going to be a downtrend, or alternatively, if it doesn't break that lower low, then we've got a new uptrend that will form for the rest of the cycle. For the time being, I'm going to assume downtrend as we're in a downward transition until then. All right, bit of a longer video today, but now you've got full context of where we are, why it's taken a while to get here, and what happens next. Until next time, ciao for now.